It's a blessing of love. Am I loud enough in the house? Thank you.
That was by Anton Miserak. So we'd like to invite you to stand for our opening song, which is We Are Opening Up in Sweet Surrender. There are probably words up there for you.
We are opening up in sweet surrender to the luminous love light of the one. We are opening up in sweet surrender to the luminous love light of the one. We are opening, we are opening, we are opening, we are opening. We are rising up like a phoenix from a fire. Brothers and sisters, spread your wings and fly high. We are rising up like a phoenix from the fire. Brothers and sisters, spread your wings and fly high. We are rising up. We are rising up. We are rising up. We are rising up. We are opening up in sweet surrender to the luminous love light of the one. We are opening up in sweet surrender to the luminous love light of the one. We are opening. 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 We are opening.
All right, y'all open? Thank you to Laura Berryhill and Anton Miserak. Good to have you guys back. Yeah, and good to have you all here with us this morning. Good morning. Welcome to Center for Spiritual Living Rogue Valley in partnership with Unity of Medford. It's great to see you all this morning. We welcome everyone, no matter where you may happen to be at this moment on your personal spiritual journey. We honor all paths to what we believe is one God, one power, one presence. We are a spiritually progressive, radically inclusive faith community. And we want to welcome all those watching us online as well this morning. If you're here for the very first time, we'd love to just give you a little love. I know there are several of you. Would you raise your hand if you're here for the first time, please? All right, and keep them up for a second. Yeah, thank you. Thank you for joining us. If you did not receive a welcome packet, put your hand up again if you would, and we'll give you some information. So good to have you join us this morning. I have a few introductions to make. Well, I forgot to introduce myself. I'm Kimberly Hawkins. I'm the senior minister here. On the platform as our musicians this morning, Laura and Anton. And also on the platform, Carol Wythe is our prayer practitioner who will be doing our opening prayer, our invocation and reading. And Reverend Stephanie Clark is sitting high watch. She led our meditation this morning. She's sitting high watch. She's praying throughout the service for the highest and best good of everyone here, everyone watching online, and everyone listening to our recorded messages. You know, recorded services later. I think that's it. If you haven't already turned your cell phone off or in airplane mode, please do so now. We're going to take a collective deep breath and turn it back over to our musicians to prepare us for our invocation and reading. And as always, after this particular song, please hold your applause because we'll go right into prayer. We have been having some issues with our sound system, so let's pray for that as well, Carol, okay?
Listen, listen, listen to my heart's song. Listen, listen, listen to my heart's song. I will never forget you. I will never forsake you. I will never forget you. I will never forsake you. Listen, listen, listen to my heart's song. Listen, listen, listen to my heart's song. I will always love you. I will always serve you. I will always love you. I will always serve you. Listen, listen, listen to my heart's song. Listen, listen, listen to my heart's song. I will never forget you. I will never forsake you. I will never forget you. I will never forsake you. Listen, listen, listen to my heart's song. Listen, listen, listen to my heart's song. I will always love you. I will always serve you. I will always love you. I will always serve you. Listen, listen, listen to my heart's song. Listen, listen, listen to my heart's song.
Let's take a deep, centering breath, listening deeply to our heart and the beauty that resides there. Isn't it lovely to know that we were created, each and every single one of us, out of that love, that light? And when we listen consciously, we feel that love and that light radiating out of us, making our world a better place, because we are that love, inescapably, always, never separate. We are love. I'm so deeply grateful in this moment that we are here, that we are present, that we know the sacredness of this time and place, and the sacredness of everything, everywhere. This is a universe of God, and we are part of it. Individualized expressions. Listening this day to Reverend Kimberly's talk that touches our hearts in a way that we get it, the way that we need it. I'm just so deeply grateful. The musicians who've already created an incredible consciousness of the love that we are. For the high watch we know that we're being prayed for in every minute of this day, and that the divine is on the scene. So good. And we give great thanks for all those volunteers, for the sound crew, for the ushers, for Michael Sunday and the kitchen crew, for Terry and all that she does to get the center ready in the mornings. It takes a troop to get this place, this sanctuary, to the place where you cannot not feel the love. It's here, and it's for each and every one of us equally. Let's open this day and hear what we are to hear. And I release this word knowing that it is already done, and I pass it into the law, and all of us say together, and so it is. Thank you. And for today, I've picked an uplifting little short reading from Science of Mind 365 by Ernest Holmes. And it's called "The Flow of Pure Spirit Always Pervades My Consciousness and Environment." Today, I hold my thoughts steadfast in the realization that divine life is flowing through me. I believe in the fullness of the bounty of God. There can be no lack in spirit, none. Spirit now inspires me in everything I do, say, and think, realizing that God is the animating essence of all life. That God withholds nothing from me. I prepare myself for a life of joy, love, accomplishment, health, and well-being. I permit myself to believe in the divine freedom that is my birthright. I know that the law of good keeps me in perfect activity, surrounds me with love and friendship, and causes me to experience the joy of living. It causes me to impart to everyone I meet an atmosphere of confidence and faith that uplifts and enlightens. Today, I permit the flow of pure spirit to enter my consciousness, to radiate in my environment, to bless everything I touch, to make whole that which is weak, to turn fear into faith, and to accomplish the miracle of love. And so it is.
This is a song I wrote to remind us of the connection between ourselves and all that is. Starlight filters through the dream time, sending its brilliance to the world. So many questions in the meantime, forgetting all the games. Where to turn to go now? Who will hold your hand? Who will trust your perfect dreaming heart? Birds flying home and the water flowing swiftly. Where are they going in the twilight? It's the answer to our prayers, the mystery unspoken, the song sung unbroken and free. The elemental fire, the path beyond desire, the grace that lifts us higher till we see. Can you see your face in the mirror of the angels? They whisper back the secrets of our lives. It's the answer to our prayers, the mystery unspoken, the song sung unbroken and free. The elemental fire, the path beyond desire, the grace that lifts us higher till we see. Take a deep breath into the wonder of your loving, precious soul. of each day we walk this earth refines that wonder into gold. It's the
Answer to our prayers, the mystery unspoken, the song sung unbroken and free,
the
elemental fire, the path beyond desire, the grace that lifts us higher till we see.
till we see, till we see, till we see.
That is gorgeous. Thank you for that creation and for the performance. Wow. You know, the phrase that stood out for me, the grace that lifts us higher till we see. Wow, that's something to chew on, isn't it? Till we see truth, till we see spirit, till we see God in everything, rather than some of the conditions that we don't like, that we'd rather not see. Beautiful, you two. Thank you so, so very much. I've entitled my message this morning, The Awakened Way. And this morning I remembered that when I was a student at Unity Church in Phoenix, Arizona, I was taking classes from this beautiful minister called Reverend Flo Dibley. Isn't that a great name for a minister, Flo? It was FLO, short for Florence. She was such a master teacher. And every single class, she had us begin with an affirmation that comes from the founder of Unity, Charles Fillmore. I'm going to read it to you, and then I'm going to ask us all to say it aloud, because I think it's a way of making sure you're all awake. I am alive, awake, and aware. I fairly sizzle with zeal and enthusiasm and spring forth with a mighty faith to do the things that ought to be done by me. Yeah. Charles Fillmore, I think he wrote those words in one of his books earlier in his life, but he used that affirmation, from what I understand, at 94 years old. He was still springing forth to do the mighty work that he was called to do. So if you're willing, I'm going to invite you to repeat these phrases after me. We'll make sure you're awake for my talk. Ready? I am alive, awake, and aware.
I am alive, awake, and aware.
I fairly sizzle with zeal and enthusiasm.
I fairly sizzle with zeal and enthusiasm.
And spring forth with a mighty faith. To do the things that ought to be done by me. Give yourselves a hand. I didn't even have to ask you to be more energetic. You were great. So before I venture into what my thoughts are about this topic, I was curious to know if any of you have an idea, if we talk about being awake in life, if we talk about living the awakened way, briefly, what does that mean to you? Anybody? Aware of what's going on in the world. Thank you. Knowing who I truly am. In harmony with the moment. Jerry, what was that? Not being on autopilot. Thank you. Say that again. Deeply appreciating my humanity. Right? All right. Good, thank you. I can go home now, right? We did the talk. You know, to me, it means a lot of things. It means having the grace that lifts us so that we can see a higher perspective. A Course in Miracles, of course, always says that a miracle is a shift in perspective. It's seeing beyond maybe the conditions that are going on, what we don't like, seeing beyond someone who's behaving in an egotistical, a selfish, a mean manner, to know that underneath that is usually what? fear, hurt, yeah, to seeing the divinity as well as the humanity. To me, it means looking past conditions. It means, as someone said, staying aware of conditions here on the earth, awake, not hiding, not going into our addictions, which we often use to distract ourselves, whether that be drugs, alcohol, over shopping, oversleeping, overeating, and et cetera, right? Fill in your addiction of choice. Yeah, it means being fully present, and I think it also means, someone said this, I believe, being grateful for the blessings that are here right now. So that's a lot, and sometimes quite challenging, I believe. Would you not agree, in the times we live in right now? I pick our topic on Sunday night or Monday morning, and then I kind of live it for the week. And I had some very vivid, interesting dreams this week. One of them was a nightmare, which I won't share right now, but maybe later. But I had several dreams that had to do with not being able to get to food. Like I was at a conference, and we broke for lunch, and I went to a restaurant, and I got to the restaurant. I didn't have my purse. I didn't have my phone, so I could use Apple Pay. I couldn't pay, so I went back to the conference, got distracted because someone was talking to me, got back to the restaurant and realized I still did not have my purse or money. A third time I went back, and by the time I got to the restaurant this time, there was a sign on the restaurant door, closed. And so I journaled that next morning and thought, okay, in dream language, food often represents nourishment of the mind, the body, the spirit, the emotions. And so I had to ask myself, am I feeding myself things that aren't nourishing, or am I not accessing things that are nourishing? Certainly, I think in spiritual community, oftentimes we come here. Reverend Laura had a big group this morning at her spiritual living circle. I think we come to be fed and to be nourished, and I got to make sure that I'm doing that too. So part of it, I think, when we talk about what we're feeding ourselves, is to stay away from the hopelessness, the negative thoughts, and so on. We're human, right? We can have those experiences, but we also in this community have the tools: prayer, having a session with a minister or practitioner, meditation, reading spiritually uplifting things. We have the tools to lift to a higher perspective. Would you agree? Okay, you're with me so far. Now, there's this expression, we've probably all used it either for ourselves or someone else. Well, I'm only human, or you're only human, meaning we make mistakes, right? But of course, we are not only human. We are not only human. We are divine in expression. We are individual expressions, as someone already spoke about up here, of that one divine life. So we are both, right? So we're these limited, maybe, human beings with a maybe contracted perspective, but we're also souls with an infinite life, eternal life, and infinite perspective. So to balance those two things, I think, is part of being awakened. So our book of the month is The Awakened Way by Suzanne Giesemann, who is, well, she was a Navy commander. And now she had an awakening, which if you read the book, I may talk about that later this month, but she had an awakening and is now a spiritual teacher, author, and actually a medium. She can actually communicate with people across the veil. And she defines the awakened way as balancing soul awareness with our human nature. A shift from feeling dissatisfied and disconnected to being aware we are part of an intelligent, creative, benevolent universe, and we are lovingly guided every moment. Isn't that beautiful? Lovingly guided. So I want to tell a story that she tells in the book. And I guess one of the things I meant to mention too was, you think about Jesus in the Garden of Gethsemane. Remember what he asks of his disciples? He asks them to stay awake with me. Remember that? He knows what's coming. It's a hard hour of him. It's an hour of agony. They know what's coming. He asks them to stay awake and pray with him, and what happens? They go to sleep. Yeah, they can't do it. And you know, a lot of times we do. We sleepwalk through life. We don't really, it's hard sometimes to be with pain, to be with things that are difficult. Yes? but we have to be able to do that to move through them, and we have to be able to do that to support one another. So I want to tell a story of this young man named Wolf. Wolf was, I think he was about 29 years old, living in Plymouth, Massachusetts. He was an artist and a poet, and his apartment was filled with his artwork, like covering every wall in his apartment and every room. And unfortunately, one day, his parents, Beth and Mike, got a call from the local police saying that Wolf his body had been found. He was dead. He'd been killed somehow. And they wouldn't let him see the body yet. They were concerned there might have been foul play involved. He was found lifeless near an old gnarled birch tree in an historic cemetery. And the police speculated that maybe he had climbed the tree and fell and broken his neck, and his parents knew that probably was not the case. He used to go to this spot a lot in the cemetery just to meditate. So on the way to Plymouth, just to be near Wolf, even though they couldn't see his body right away, they stopped at a local florist and they bought 2 long-stem red roses in a plastic case so they could put them in the ground near where they found him. And sure enough, they found the tree. His hat was still there. There was evidence of the paraphernalia the paramedics had used to work on him. And they did a prayer, and they put the 2 flowers in the ground. And a day or 2 later, the coroner came back with the news about the cause of death. Wolf had been struck by a bolt of lightning and died instantly, apparently. There was a microstorm in the area. It wasn't a big deal, but he was hit. Now, the interesting thing is when the parents walked into his apartment, Father had been there a few days earlier, and he noticed something that was tacked up on the wall. In fact, Wolf had told him 3 days earlier, I'm not going to rearrange things anymore. This is the way it's going to stay. And they walked in the apartment, and it was kind of eerily neat, almost as if he was expecting a guest, which wasn't his custom. And tacked to the wall was this drawing with a poem that Wolf had written on it. It was a drawing of an eye with the Taoist symbol in it. And this is what the poem said. Spirit of great healer, awaken from within this heart. Peace and tranquility flow like water. The time has come to allow the light of nature to free my soul. The time has come to allow the light of nature to free my soul. Almost maybe prophetic, right? He'd been hit by lightning. His favorite t-shirt had a big lightning bolt on it, and he had cut out the big lightning bolt and posted it across from this poem on the wall. Now here's an even more eerie part. When they looked at the drawing another day later, Wolf's mom noticed that in that little eye he had drawn was a drawing of the birch tree, the gnarled birch tree where he had died, and next to it were a very simple drawing of 2 long-stemmed single flowers next to the tree. Pretty wild stuff, huh? In the ensuing months, Suzanne Giesman had visits from Wolf and began to communicate with him. And he had a very purposeful message he was trying to leave behind. This is the gist of it. We as a species are out of balance. To find peace and tranquility and for our lives to flow like water, which was in his poem, we need to spend less time in our logical, reasoning mind, human mind, and become acquainted with the feeling, knowing power of ourselves, our soul. In one of the sessions with Suzanne, Wolf shared 45 different details about his life which she couldn't possibly know, and Suzanne confirmed them with his parents. So there was no doubt in their minds that this was proof of consciousness living beyond the veil, beyond what we call the transition we call death, that we are larger than our human bodies, much, much, much more. So when we talk about the awakened way, I think there are at least 3 things that this entails. One is this vision that we talked about, the grace that lifts me to see from a higher place. I love a line from the Course in Miracles, and I used to use this as an affirmation. I allow Christ's vision to look through my eyes. Christ's vision, of course, being that understanding that we're one. I and the Father are one. He said, know ye not that ye are gods? We are one. So having eyes, not just the physical eyes, but the spiritual eyes that really, I think, reside here, right? From our heart perspective, that soul perspective. And again, the Course in Miracles tells us that shift in perspective is what the miracles are all about. So if we're looking at a situation that we're really angry about or hurt about, to look from a higher perspective of what the soul's story might be for the people that we're talking about. Amen? So this is number one. It's interesting, a while back, Marcel Proust said, the real voyage of discovery consists not in seeking new landscapes, but in having new eyes. So number one, it's awakening those new eyes, shifting from any sense of fear and separation and limitation to love and unity. So that brings me to the second part of what I consider to be part of an awakened life, is this idea that we're one, that we can't be separate. And this is taught in so many different religions. I'm hearkening back to our book of the month, I think it was last month, by the Buddhist teacher Thich Nhat Hanh. He wrote this poem, I think it was back in 78, and here's a man who endured the war and devastation. Remember a couple weeks ago I shared that he wanted to have a ceremony to honor the American officers who died, you know, to understand that they didn't, in their hearts, in their essence, didn't intend the devastation that they caused. Here's a poem that I think speaks beautifully to this idea of oneness with everything. Not just the things we love, not just the things we think are beautiful or we like. So if you're comfortable, maybe even close your eyes and take this in. Thich Nhat Hanh calls it, please call me by my true names. Do not say that I will depart tomorrow. Even today, I'm still arriving. Look deeply. Every second I am arriving, to be a bud on a spring branch, to be a tiny bird with still fragile wings learning to sing in my new nest, to be a caterpillar in the heart of a flower, or to be a jewel hiding itself in a stone. I still arrive to laugh and to cry, to fear and to hope. The rhythm of my heart is the birth and death of all that is alive. I am a mayfly metamorphosing on the surface of the river, and I am the bird that swoops down to swallow the mayfly. I'm a frog swimming happily in the clear pond water, and I am the grass snake that silently feeds itself on the frog. I am the child in Uganda, all skin and bones, my legs as thin as bamboo sticks, and I am the arms merchant selling deadly weapons to Uganda. I am the 12-year-old girl refugee on a small boat who throws herself into the ocean after being raped by a sea pirate. And I am the pirate, my heart not yet capable of seeing and loving. I'm a member of the Politburo with plenty of power in my hands, and I am the man who is to pay his debt of blood to my people dying slowly in a forced labor camp. My joy is like spring. Too warm, it makes flowers bloom. So warm, it makes flowers bloom all over the earth. My pain is like a river of tears. So vast, it fills the 4 oceans. Please call me by my true names so I can hear all my cries and laughter at once, so I can see that my joy and pain are one. Please call me by my true name so I can wake up and the door of my heart could be left open, the door of compassion. Whew. The Buddhists are big on not hiding, not resisting. And I think the trick is to be able to feel the pain of all that's going on in this world, all of it, but to also lift our sight to the higher knowing, right? And to feed ourselves continually with spiritual truth, with the idea of unity, with the truth of unity, so that we're not mired, because we can, in feeling everyone's pain, get stuck, right? Get bogged down. It happened to me in a minor way this week, because Reverend Abigail Scherer, who will be with us next week, and I will be here, but she's awesome. She's a young minister. She's on fire, and we've hired her to lead our practitioner retreat next weekend. And early in the week, she sent me a message saying, I've been exposed to COVID, and a couple days later I came down with symptoms, and I'm not sure I'm going to be able to make it. And we went into this long thing about, okay, what are options if this is the case, trying to find other dates, coordinating 12 people's schedules. It was a mess. And to boot, I kept making mistakes. If you know me well, you know I sometimes confuse dates, and I sent the wrong dates out for an alternative where she would be available, and Bonnie and Andy, who are hosting us, would be available, and someone else made them. It was just a mess. And I found myself going, oh, you know. And then on Thursday morning, which is the time that I put my talk notes together, a practitioner always prays for me. And Carol Wythe and I had a phone session, and she prayed for me. And her prayer was just about the talk and, you know, being guided to put together a talk. But I got off the phone, and I realized I was no longer feeling bogged down by all this messiness and craziness. My attitude was kind of, we can figure this out. It'll all work out. That's the power of prayer. That's the power of letting grace lift you to a higher perspective, and knowing that things always work out, right? If it's not the end, if it's not a good ending, it's not the end yet. So I share that just as a reminder that we do have people who pray in this community quite well. So I've done two. Well, as for oneness, one more thing I wanted to say about oneness. Again, this is something that exists in so many religions. In Mahayana Buddhism, there's a concept called Indra's net. Some of you may be well familiar with it. It's this image of a very complicated net, and in the intersections of all the weavings, there are these jewels that are all completely intertwined. So it's a great metaphor for what Thich Nhat Hanh calls the interbeing of all of life, the interdependence, the oneness of all of life. So we've got one, seeing with new eyes, to be awake. We've got two, remembering this idea of oneness, which is one of the primary foundational principles taught in both unity and science of mind. I think number three is living intentionally, living consciously, choosing what we want to experience, choosing what we do, choosing to be here like you are on Sunday, and to be fed, hopefully, with uplifting ideas and truths, and to spread that, you know? To spread love. I remember Carl Anthony, was it Carl Anthony? No, it was another singer we had do a concert one time, and he wrote this beautiful song about what we should speak. And his guidelines for what we should say were, is it necessary? Is it true? Is it kind? Which is a beautiful heart-centered way to live, you know? So we're not spreading gossip, we're not spreading condemnation, we're not spreading complaints. Is it necessary? Is it true? And is it kind? Yeah. So I'm just going to look over to see if there's anything else I wanted to say before I wrap this up. And of course there is. So this idea that heaven is not a place up in the sky where some people go if they're good in this life. Heaven is right here, right now, if we live intentionally and choose to see the good and to live from that place of love. Ernest Holmes said, heaven is within us, and we experience it to the degree we become conscious of it. And part of that, I think, is trusting that when things don't go our way or challenges get thrown at us, this is a silly example this week, but I think it's a great metaphor. My Fitbit stopped working. It stopped working. What happened was it wouldn't plug back into its charger because the socket got kind of worn away. And I was like, come on, I don't want to have to buy another Fitbit, but I did. Here it is. And guess what? It's a new and improved version. It's a step up. It does things my old one doesn't do, and it fits on the charger snaps in really, really well. The other one was hard to get. And so I thought, when things happen in life where something's worn out and isn't working anymore and we're called to make a shift, let's embrace it, because it's probably we're being called to up-level our life in some way. Yes? Again, looking past the frustration, the dissatisfaction, and learning to go with the flow, like Reverend Flo Dibley taught me. So let's stay awake. Let's not go back to sleep. I'm going to end with a Rumi poem you may be familiar with. Don't go back to sleep. Rumi, of course, a mystic Sufi poet from way back when. He wrote this: "The breezes at dawn have secrets to tell you. Don't go back to sleep. You must ask for what you really want. Don't go back to sleep. People are going back and forth across the door sill where the two worlds touch. The door is round and open. Don't go back to sleep." Let's go into prayer. That door between the two worlds is always open. For we do live in two worlds. We live in human biodegradable spacesuits, temporary things. And we also live with these eternal souls and this expansive consciousness that is eternal and interconnected with all of life. For we know in this teaching that there is but one life, one presence, one power, God the Spirit Almighty, living, always, everywhere present, all powerful, all knowing, closer than our hands, nearer than our breath. It's there to guide, to supply, to comfort, to breathe us, to be us, and to connect through us with all that is. I know that each of us can't be separate from the good that God is, the intelligence, the freedom, the peace, the love, and so much more. I give great thanks to know this, and I give great thanks to know that each of us in our own way can be guided this week not to go back to sleep, not to go sleepwalking through this life, but rather to open eyes, to let that Christ vision view the world through our eyes, to have compassion for ourselves as well as everyone else. For as we do this, we do create heaven on earth, not only in our own consciousness, but we tend to create it for others as well, a world that works for all, which is the vision of our Centers for Spiritual Living Community. So I pray and know that each of us is guided in any way we need to be today, to let go of addictions, to let go of any fear and limited beliefs, to be able to face our fears, but to move past them, to deepen our zest for life so that we can truly be awake, aware, alive, sizzling with zeal and enthusiasm, springing forth with a mighty faith to do the things each of us ought to do. I give thanks to know these truths. I give thanks to know this prayer is already answered in the mind of the divine. And I invite us to say together, and so it is. Amen.
We are the crown of creation, nature becoming conscious of herself, swimming in an ocean of sensation, discovering the vastness of our wealth. These times are times of great mystery. These times are times of great choice. As we answer the call of our own destiny, we must each speak our own truth with our own voice. And if there's one great light, we must find it all. And if there's one great peace, we must find it all. If there's a oneness in life, we must find it all in our hearts. These times are times of great trials, but these times can be times of great hope. These times may be times of personal struggle, but these times can be times of limitless growth. And if there's one great light, we must find it all. And if there's one great peace, we must find it all. If there's a oneness in life, we must find it all in our hearts. Find it all in our hearts. Find it here in our heart.
Anton wrote that. That's the song of Anton.
Perfect song to wrap up that message. Yes. Just a note, our ushers are going to come on forward. Thank you, Ellen and Vivian. Time now for our tithes and offerings. Just a reminder, if you would remind me, I forgot our birthday song. So right before announcements, can we do that? Right before announcements? Okay. Because it's the first Sunday of the month in a moment. So first, sorry, I mean, it doesn't matter. We could do it now. Time for tithes and offerings. So again, a big thank you to all who continue to support us financially. If you're wanting a cash envelope there behind the purple chairs, those watching us online, you can use the QR code and make a donation online if you like. Let's say our affirmation together, shall we? Ready? Graciously, I give from a place of love, knowing that as I give, so do I richly receive. Yes, Anton. Love me that harmonica. Let's see. So, I forgot that it's the first Sunday of the month, so we'd like to celebrate anybody who is having a birthday during September, I'm included. Would you kindly stand while we sing to you a version of Happy Birthday really quickly? And the words are, in the end, happy birthday. We sure do love you. You too. Hey.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, happy birthday. We sure do love you. And a special shout out to Bill and Connie. They're both September.
Bill and Connie Minor.
Yep.
Happy birthday. You're
Happy
both
birthday to you
Virgos
guys.
as well. I got a lot of Virgos in this community. All right. I have one announcement, and then I'm going to bring Trasia up for the bulk of the announcements. As I mentioned, next week, Reverend Abigail Scherer will be here to do the talk. I will be here presiding. You will not want to miss this young person. She is on fire. Her hair, I think right now, is bright pink. And she is a deep, deep, wonderful, young, energetic minister. And you will love her message and will be blessed, I know, to have her lead our practitioner retreat Friday and Saturday. So, come on. Oh, and by the way, no birthday cake today. Ginny and Alan stayed at the coast to avoid the smoke. She'll be here next week. She assured me this morning with her delicious birthday cake. Sorry, Laura. Okay, Trasia, come on up.
Happy birthday, by the way. Good morning. I brought my eyeballs. So first of all, I want to greet Priscilla Chafin and Kemba Leonard, who are joining us via live stream. Glad to have you here with us. Little reminders about some of the fun things that are happening here at the center on Tuesdays. We have Tai Chi at 10 a.m., followed by Poetry as Spiritual Practice at 11. This is the last week to join Reverend Kimberly's 10-week Essential Earnest class, which began last Wednesday. Let her know if you want to take part. Also noticed up on the board up there a reminder about the spiritual living circles that are happening with Reverend Laura Stewart. Make sure you take a note of that. I don't have the information in front of me, but I know it's wonderful. Our sandwich makers, led by Nancy Clay, meet twice a month to prepare food for the hungry. The First Presbyterian Church has asked for more help. If you'd like to volunteer, please see Nancy or Reverend Kimberly. We're gathering volunteers for our community potluck picnic on Saturday, September the 20th at Two Vale Park. Sign up is in the Bosworth Hall. A prospective new members class will be held after service on Sunday, September the 28th. This 90-minute session is a chance to learn about our new thought philosophy and what membership in our community here at Center for Spiritual Living Rogue Valley and Unity means. Please sign up in the Bosworth Hall. The welcoming ritual for our new members will be held the following Sunday during service. We'd also like to remind you to please consider leaving a love offering in the kitchen to help cover the cost of groceries for our fellowship snacks. Your generosity is appreciated. And at this time, I'd like to invite Reverend Stephanie to come up. She has an announcement for you.
Good morning. So next week we're having a fundraiser, and it's the 50-50 raffle. So you will come and buy your raffle tickets, and we split the final proceeds between whoever has the winning ticket and CSL Rogue Valley in partnership with Unity. So I'm going to tell you now, bring your cash next week, and the raffle tickets cost $2 for one, $4 for two, and you can get 3 for $5, so that's a real deal. So, yeah, it's a fantastic deal. So come next week, and we'll be selling them before the service, and maybe a couple of minutes after the service, and then we'll have the drawing at about 12 o'clock. So you need to be present to win, so please stay for the drawing at 12. Thank you.
So for all of our upcoming events, please check your weekly e-newsletter. If you don't receive the e-newsletter by email, we always have a current printed copy available on the information table in Bosworth Hall. You can sign up there or on our website or by emailing cslroguevalley@gmail.com to receive your email newsletter each week. There is one shared prayer box in the back of the sanctuary for CSL and Unity. Prayer request forms are in the rack underneath the purple chairs in the backs of them. And finally, please join us after service in Bosworth Hall today for refreshments and fellowship, although we're not going to have birthday cake this time because Ginny and Alan made a beeline for the beach. They'll be back next week, so come back next week and we'll have birthday cake. Thanks.
Let's give Treasure a hand. She does a beautiful job with announcements. Thank you, Treasure. All right. And, especially since we have so many newcomers, there is a sign-up sheet in the back here by the back door, too, for, I believe it's back there. Is that where, Vivian, the sign-up sheet for name tags, or is that back there? Okay, so when we get 8 names, we print name tags because we'd love for everybody to get to know each other. And there's also a sign-up sheet there for the newsletters, I think Trey just said. So I'm going to invite our practitioners and ministers in the room to come forward, please. They are available after service for what we call a quick 5-minute miracle. If there's something heavy on your heart, please come up, and they'd be glad to pray with you and know spiritual truth for you. And before we go to our closing song, I just want to leave you with this for the week. Think about, what food are you feeding yourself? Your emotions, your spirit, your mind. What thoughts and ideas are you feeding yourself, and how might you up-level them like I did with my Fitbit? What do we do when this human world gets us down? Because with open hearts and compassion, we certainly can get down. Reminder that this awakened way we spoke about today makes it quite clear. You realize this is not the only world, and you are not only human. Take it away.
All right, we'd like to ask you to stand to sing Stand. Of course, if you like to sit, that's fine. We just want you to raise your voice. For years I would talk about how I wanted to change the world, but I always left it up for someone else to do. Then I finally realized I needed to take a stand, and that by changing my thinking I could change my life, and that's how I could change the world. So let there be peace.
I am a stand for peace.
Let there be love.
I am a stand for love.
Let there be joy.
I am a stand for joy. We are making a new world now.
Let there be peace.
I am a stand for peace.
Let there be love.
I am a stand for love.
Let there be joy.
I am a stand for joy. We are making a new world now. We are making a new world now.
Hear it again.
We are making a new